afternoon, and welcome to My Harlem Portraits, the show that aims at shedding the light on the fundamental contribution of African Americans to the building of this country and on Black excellence. Black excellence is going to be represented today in the utmost way by a true Harlem native, queen of soul food and comfort food, as she likes to call it, restaurateur, caterer, author, and a foodwork personality. You probably already guessed. We have Miss Chef Melba Wilson. Thank you and welcome to My Harlem Portraits.
Maria, thank you so much for having me on. It's such an honor to be able to represent my community, our community, and a community that we love so very much.
Yes, the village of Harlem has embraced me. So I love Harlem.
Harlem is your home, Maria.
Yes, it is. I feel more home in Harlem than I feel in Italy. So that's a lot to say. Okay, so let's start. You are a James Beard nominee, one of the most successful African American women in the restaurant catering industries, and most of all, you embody the essence of the village of Harlem and New York. I remember we were outside your restaurant once, and you told me why, one of the main reasons why you opened your restaurant in this particular neighborhood of Harlem. Would you like to share it with our viewers?
Sure. So, Maria, as you know, I'm born, bred, and buttered in the village of Harlem. And back in the late 90s, early 2000s, Harlem wasn't the Harlem that a lot of us see today. Yellow cabs at that time did not even come up to Harlem. People saw Harlem as a place where drugs were rampant. And in some parts of Harlem, that is true. But there's another part of Harlem. Harlem is the Mecca of Black culture. So you think of Zora Neale, you think of the music known as bebop being born here. There's so many firsts. James Baldwin, oh my God. Chicken and waffles, born right here in Harlem. But it was seen as the drug capital, one of the drug capitals of the world. And that was definitely true in certain spots, sort of like 114th Street between Frederick Douglass Boulevard and Adam Clayton Powell. It bothered me that there's a school in the middle of the block, Wadley, and there was so many drug deals happening on that block. So before kids could even get to go to school, they had to pass by people using, people selling, people shooting up drugs, people snorting drugs. And then our children had to go into school and learn. That bothered me. So I worked in the industry for many, many years. And every Friday when I got paid, I would take money and put just a little bit under my mattress. One particular day, I heard a flight attendant say, in case of an emergency, put on your mask first. And it was like a light bulb went off. Melba, you're complaining about the problem, but what are you doing to fix it? It was that day that I ran home and quickly started counting the money that I had saved under my mattress. And it was a fortune.
Wow.
It was $312,000.
Wow. And in those times, that was a lot of money.
$1 million.
Yes, that was a lot of money.
Totally. And walking by the last day that I was counting, it took me a little bit over 2 weeks to count. There was a for rent sign on 300 West 114th Street. I called, spoke to Robert Reach from Limley and Wolf, and the rest, as they say, is her story.
What a story. Our grandmother used to tell us, put your money under the mattress.
Yes.
And I think we should do it now because the banks are robbers anyway. So
yeah, but I now, for anybody out there watching, do not come to my house looking for money. I now bank at more reputable establishments. I can see my friends going, girl, let me come to your house.
Your success is amazing and you have a stellar reputation because of your innovative ideas, For example, the Sunday Gospel Brunch, which is fantastic. And that turned your restaurant into a real landmark in New York and in Harlem, of course, and is frequented by patrons that are very diverse, including royalties, music, TV, and movie stars, like, for example, Kendrick Lamar, Rihanna, Zendaya, Katy Perry, Tom Holland, Michael Strahan, A$AP Rocky, Sherri Shepherd, denies, and even Prince Harry and Meghan, as of course all the locals. So, what you think is really the reason of your success? What makes the difference? What difference you are making to have such a success?
Wow, that's a really good question, Maria. And thank you for not sending the questions in advance. This is my life story. I should know it. I don't have to read up about it. But I think one of the things that stands out at Melba's is comfort is more than just the food. Comfort is in the experience. It's the moment you walk through the door and you're greeted by one of our team members, or you sit down and Brian or one of our staff members come over to serve you, or Kiara, the bartender, gives you a beautiful smile. I think that's what it's about. It's about comfort being displayed in every aspect of what we do. You know, we don't advertise, but I tell my team members all the time, there are over 26,000 restaurants in New York. We don't advertise. So someone woke up and decided to come to Melba's. We must always be grateful for that. Maria, I can teach my team how to cook. I can teach them how to open a bottle of wine. I can teach them how to work the front of the house, the back of the house. But what I cannot teach them is how to genuinely love and want to serve people. And so when we hire, we don't always hire the person with the most experience. What we do hire is the person that genuinely loves people, because that is something that we cannot teach.
Yeah. So the personal experience is what makes the difference on top of everything else.
Totally.
I get it. And it's true. When in your life you decided that the restaurant business was going to be your calling, and how did it all start? I know there is a very, very important place where you started. The only place that existed when I first came to Harlem.
Yeah. Well, I actually learned how to cook at my grandmother's house in Hemingway, South Carolina, a very small town with 3 stoplights, which is actually where my Aunt Sylvia is from as well. But my first time cooking was at 9 years old, and it was in my grandmother's kitchen in Hemingway, South Carolina. But it was at my Aunt Sylvia's iconic Sylvia's restaurant, which at this point has been open for 63 years.
Wow.
It's a landmark, it's a staple, and it is at the hem of her garment that I really was embraced into the industry. And she laid the blueprint for all that I am today and a lot that I've accomplished today. She, along with a few other people, for sure. But working at Sylvia's was, oh my God, it was like getting your PhD in the restaurant industry. You never knew who was going to walk through the door, be it Prince Diana,
Wow.
Nelson Mandela,
My God.
the one and only Al Sharpton, bringing James Brown along.
Mm.
Um, but one of the things that I really give my aunt so much credit for was Aunt Sylvia not only taught me what to do, she taught me what not to do. She taught me how to hang in there when times got tough. And believe me, you know, with all the social media, everybody talks about the good times. But I have to tell you that for every good time that's seen, there are 20 tough times that people have no clue about. So, you know, there's a lot of grit and growl and hard times behind the smile. But when you love something, you keep forging ahead.
Yes. And I heard in some interview that you get up every day at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Between 3 and 4, yeah. Yeah. My
Wow.
I'm an Aries and I don't set an alarm clock. Um, but those hours that I sleep, those 4 hours that I sleep, they're great. That's probably the equivalent to 8 hours of someone. Like I knock out, like I am gone, I am done. And it's a deep sleep. My body, for some reason, requires about 4 hours of sleep. Um, I don't know if it's because my brain is thinking, I have no clue, but it's what I'm accustomed to and it's what I'm comfortable with at this time. Besides, when I'm dead and buried, I'll have a whole lot of time to sleep then.
Fantastic. I also sleep 4 or 5 hours, no more. So
But you understand.
yeah, I understand totally. You have been collaborating and partnered with figures which are very renowned, like former executive chef Michael Lomonaco and restaurateurs like Robert De Niro. Tell us a little bit about that, because Robert De Niro is one of my heroes in everything he does, especially when he talks about the one in the White House.
Yes, Bob is very, very vocal, very, very passionate at what he does. And it was early in my career that I actually met Drew Nearparent. And Drew Nearparent sat me down and invited me to partner with he and Bob to Robert De Niro to open up a barbecue restaurant in
Yeah.
the theater industry. It was me and my big mouth, and I said, "Why don't we come up to Harlem?" Because I'm all things Harlem. And we came up to Minton's Playhouse, saw the space, fell in love with it, worked on the project for 2.5 years, and it did not open. It did not happen.
Oh,
However, I have to tell you, it was one of the most memorable opportunities of my life. And what I learned can never be duplicated. So, sometimes people look at things as failures. I look at it as a stepping stone to
yeah.
get me to where I am today. So I am forever grateful to Drew and Bob. And it's also in my very good friendship with David Rockwell, who's one of my dearest friends, spawned from. So, yes. And Michael LaMonaco, the 21 Club. My son was just born, so it's had to be around the end of 20, no, the end of 1999 or the beginning of 2000. And I get a call from Chef Michael LaMonaco, 21 Club, Windows on the World. Every day was busy at Windows on the World, except for Sunday. So Michael said, Melba, I know you created Gospel Brunch. I'd love for you to come and do something here at Windows. Before we got there, every other day at Windows on the World was busy, but a lot of people were not venturing downtown to, the Wall Street area at that time on the weekends. We started a Sunday gospel champagne brunch that took us from 70 guests, 70, 75 guests in the beginning to between 400 to 600 guests every
Oh my
Sunday.
God.
And we were there September 9th and the last Sunday
Wow.
right before 9/11. Yeah.
Wow. You've gone through a lot.
Yeah.
You've gone through a lot.
But the blessing is that we're here to tell the story.
Exactly. And as you said, those are stepping stones and learning experiences.
Totally. Well, as my grandmother used to say, whatever don't kill you will fatten you. So
That's right. My grandmother said that too.
I don't know, Italy and South Carolina,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
some synergy there.
Listen, the Italians and Harlem, we are very, I don't know, I just feel it. This is my
Yeah.
family. I feel
Yeah.
it. So I don't know if I'm strange or not, but
Well, you are family, Maria. You know that.
in 2004, you decided to venture on your own. And you, since then, you have established a series of very successful businesses under the Melba brand. You have Melba's Harlem, Melba's Central Park, Melba's at the Prudential Center in Newark, Melba's Catering, Melba's Grand Central. And I think there is also a Melba's 550.
Well, Melba's
Tell
five.
us a little bit about all that.
So Melba's 550 will open hopefully 2026, April, May, somewhere around there. They're all my kids. So I'm super excited about all of them. Melba's Harlem has just celebrated over 20 years, going into our 21st year. in 2026. So to God be the glory. Melba's Central Park has been 5 years this past November, November 2025. The Prudential Center will celebrate, I think, our second year, and Melba's Grand Central will turn one in February 2026. So the newest, and Melba's Catering has been around for 21, going on 21 years. So Melba's 550 is an amazing space in the heart of downtown Newark. And it's between a Wells Fargo and a Chase Bank. It's right in the Rutgers area. It's right across the street from the library. I'm
Mm.
so in love with this space. It's in a Fidelco building, a very historical, monumental building, and it's being designed by David Rockwell. We're
Oh,
also using some local Newark artists infused with Leroy Campbell, who's one of the greats, and Say Adams, whose work I am so in awe of. But we're super excited because we're giving local artists an opportunity to be in a David Rockwell building. Like,
oh,
it doesn't get too much better than that. And Rockwell has designed everything from Tao to all the Nobus around the world, to the Kodak Theater, to 39 Broadway sets.
wow.
We are super excited about being able to employ additional people from the city of Newark and to make that our second home.
It makes a lot of sense that you get up at 3, 4 o'clock because how do you take care of all this? And I know you personally take care of all this.
Well, I have an amazing team, Maria, and I couldn't do anything without my team. I have a great COO, a wonderful CFO, different people that work with great managers, amazing dishwashers, because without the dishwashers, there'd be no pots for us to cook in. There'd be no plates for us to eat on. So it's just a great support system that we have. And we don't call them employees or staff members. We typically love to call them our teammates, our team members, and our extended family.
Wonderful. Um, I want to tell you something. Sylvia, when I first came to Harlem, and nobody wanted, as you said, cab driver wouldn't drive you here. And I wanted to see Harlem because I'd read the autobiography of Malcolm X, and he was my hero. And I wanted to see the places he was talking about. Couldn't find anybody who could take me. And until one day, a friend of mine on a Sunday morning, he said, "Okay, if we go on a Sunday morning, I'll take you." And we took the subway to 125th Street, the 6th train. We walked on 125th all the way back and forth and so on. We were hungry at this point. And we saw all these old ladies, all really well dressed, coming out of church. It was July, so all in white. It was so beautiful. And I said, why do you think it's dangerous here? I don't get it, right? And then we asked someone, we were hungry. We couldn't see a restaurant. And they said, right there, Sylvia's.
Yeah.
We went to Sylvia's and they had the Sunday brunch that you are talking about. And I will never, ever, ever forget that experience because they had this band that was like the 70s with the soul music with, oh my God. I came out of there and said, I'm going to live here one day.
Oh my God. Well, I am so honored to know that. My aunt gave me an amazing opportunity, and Sunday was my big payday. However, if it was slow, my aunt would say, she would cut staff. You got to go home. It's exactly what a great business person,
Yeah.
any business person would do. So when I told her I wanted to start having church singers sing after they left church, in the beginning, she was not for it. She was like, oh, we're not going to pay anybody. It's already slow after. Da, da, da. So I said, well, let me see and I got my friend Ingrid Arthur. I said, Ingrid, we could give you a meal because my aunt said we could feed them. Would you agree to do this for 1 month? And if it's a hit, we can hire you to do every Sunday. And that's what we did, Maria. They
Wow.
took a chance on us. My aunt saw the numbers increase. Voila. It was a big hit, and that was the beginning of Gospel Brunch. So kudos to my Aunt Sylvia, God bless her soul, for just taking a chance, because not everyone's going to take a chance on you, but she did take a chance, and it's one that ultimately paid off.
Fantastic. See, I didn't know this story. It all connects. All
Yeah.
of that connects. Wonderful. But your influence goes far beyond your business. You are a regular on national and international news and talk shows. You serve as a judge on the many cooking competition and have been featured in documentaries that celebrate all your achievements. How wonderful and rewarding is that? And tell us about the best times and maybe those times that weren't so good.
I appreciate you asking that because most times when I do interviews, it's all about the positive. But I think that when we tell a story, or for me anyway, when I tell a story, I like to tell a well-rounded story. The food and beverage industry is one of the toughest industries anyone could ever get into, especially a female, especially a Black female, especially a Black female from Harlem. You know, so many people counted me out. So many people told me I couldn't, I wouldn't, and I shouldn't, and gave me reasons why. And for me, not trying would have been the travesty.
Yeah.
That would have been traumatic to me, because I would have never known. And this is my passion. It's what I love doing. Close to being a mom. This is the second thing that I'm extremely passionate about.
Yeah.
And so to not have given myself an opportunity, taken a chance on me, that would have been the failure. Not if the restaurant didn't work.
But because you didn't try.
There you go. That would have been a failure to me. And so I figured if they already say I'm at the bottom, I have no place to go but up. So I took a chance on me. I took a chance on my community. I took a chance on my people, and they have not let me down. And have there been hard times? Girl, there have been those days.
Yeah.
There have been those days when I go, what the heck was I thinking? Why am I here? Why have I subjected myself to this? But Maria, on those days, I step outside of the front doors of Melba's, Harlem. I look to the right. There's a monument standing proud and tall, the one and only Frederick Douglass Jr. And then I look to my left. I walk down the street. And with the roots of our ancestors stemming from the hem of her garment,
Yeah.
the one and only Harriet Tubman. And
Yes.
it is on those days, during those times, that I say, if Harriet Tubman can build an underground railroad, I won't complain. I'm not gonna complain. I can't complain. What I have to do is understand that trouble don't last always. And as my grandmother and your grandmother said, what doesn't fatten us will kill it. What doesn't kill us will fatten us
Yeah.
and make us stronger for the next generation. And it's my faith that keeps me going. I mean, in Harlem, there are over 200 churches.
Yes.
Right, Maria, you know that. So anytime I turn,
At least one on one block. On
right,
this block, at
exactly.
least one.
At least one, right? And it's more than one on some blocks. So one on this street, look across the street behind your back, there's another one. And it's Mount Nebo on 114th Street with the Reverend Johnny Green that gives me hope, that teaches me, or I know I can pick up the phone and call my pastor and get words of wisdom. So it's those things that keep me going, but it's also the love of my community. Harlem shows up.
Yes.
It's not just a neighborhood, it's a community. For example, if you go to the corner store every Monday through Friday at 8:15, when you leave your house and you're on your way to work or to school and you miss a day.
He's going to ask you.
Come on, Maria, what's going to happen? He's going to say, you okay? Where have you been? They know your family's name. They know your kids' name. They know your mom and dad. That's a neighborhood. That's a community. Those are people that care. There's no place like Harlem in the world.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I love this place.
Oh,
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love you. You are really
I
a
love you.
philanthropist. You're also a philanthropist, a community advocate, a source of excellence. You support various causes and organizations in Harlem and throughout New York City, like God's Love We Deliver, of which you are a board member, New York City Tourism and Convention, Harlem Village Academies, and you are the President Emeritus of the New York City Hospitality Alliance. Tell us a little bit about, for example, God Loves Deliver, because I've heard a lot about that.
Well, to whom much is given, much is expected. God's love we deliver. Wow. Food is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And God love we deliver delivers medically tailored meals to millions of New Yorkers. We've just delivered last December, so a year ago, our 40th millionth meal. 40
Wow.
millionth meal.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Sometimes when I'll go on the deliveries with some of the drivers, you'll hear the clients say, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't eat today. This is serious, and we are the financial capital of the world.
Yeah.
No person should go without food.
Mm. It is crazy.
Yes,
It is really crazy because and what's happening now with all this uh, political situation where all the achievements that were had in the last 20 years, they've been really dismantled
totally.
one by one by one. That kind of work and mission that you are doing is fundamental. That's what keeps people alive.
Yeah, yeah. And we have to think about that. Even when I go out to dine, I'm always conscious of not over ordering because there's so many people that don't have a meal. I'm just very, very conscious. It's things that we take for granted that so many people don't have. And again, we have to normalize that eating a meal is what's necessary to survive, to sustain ourselves. It's not an option. To eat or not to eat is not an option. It's as simple as that. If one doesn't eat, they don't live. So, food, again, it's not a luxury, it is a necessity. And so, anything that I can do to assist in that cause, I always do. We even feed kids, school kids, every Friday. We deliver 100 meals on Fridays because we found out through the 28 precinct that there's some kids that only eat Monday through Friday because they get the school lunches and the school breakfast. So we do our part to help in that, and we've been doing that for years as well. So it's not always about talking about it, and there's so many other things we do. But we take our advertising budget, and for 20 years, we've invested it back into the community, Harlem, Brooklyn, all over, whenever we can.
That is very beautiful. And I think that's one of the reasons why you're successful, because you're blessed, because you bless other people.
Mhm. Yeah. I received that. Thank you.
You use your power for good, not just for yourself at all. And that, I think, has to be rewarded.
Well, thank you. But it's never just about me, Maria. It's about we. I'm only as strong as my community. I'm only as strong as my people. I'm only as strong as the person sitting to the left of me, the right of me, in front of me, or behind me. And it's our responsibility to be our brothers and our sisters' keepers.
Yes, but not everybody does that. So you are special, Melba.
Well, thank you. But I think people give in different ways. And I think different things pull at different people's heartstrings. It's just that food insecurity is a big deal to me. And a lot of our seniors and a lot of our kids suffer. One out of every four children in this city suffer with food insecurity. And anything that I can do, that we can do to eradicate that, we must.
You're an advocate for that, and that is really very important because it comes from someone who has a platform. You have a stage you can talk from, and that makes the whole difference, which is one reason why I do this show, because I want people to know the excellence, the ingenuity that is in the Black community, because it's not known.
Yeah.
There are stereotypes. Even now, when I go back to Italy and they ask me where I live in New York and I say Harlem, they say, oh, isn't that dangerous? Still. And I'm thinking, wow, we really need to make people understand that this community, to me, has got the most incredible people, the culture, from the cultural point of view, from the business point of view, from a uh, capacity of finding new ways point
Mhm.
of view.
Mhm.
I find it here. I haven't
Yes.
found it anywhere else, and I wouldn't live anywhere else.
Oh, thank you.
I-
Well, I tell people it's important that we are conscious about building economic empowerment. And how we do that is by reinvesting in our community,
Mm.
shopping in our community. If I'm buying flowers, I'm going to Barbara's Flowers in Harlem, or I'm going to Franz James. When I get my hair done, I go to Elizabeth on East 125th Street. If I'm getting a bottle of wine, I go to Harlem Winery. If
Mm.
I'm drinking coffee, I go to Neighborhood or I go to Monkey Cup. So it's so important that we are intentional about spending our money within our community so that we can create jobs, but most importantly, create economic empowerment.
Yes, I totally agree.
So thank you for
And we
living.
are going to end with your numerous awards and honors that you received that celebrate your contribution and impact on hospitality industry and beyond. Tell us if there is one or two or more specific that are most uh, dear to you of these recognitions.
Well, anytime that anyone recognizes you, to me, each award is important. I was just recognized by the Harlem Sigmas last week, which I was just in awe of. But also, I was recognized by the New York City Board of Tourism.
Mm.
That's big to me because I love New York. There's no other place like it in the world.
Yeah,
So to be recognized by NYC Board of Tourism is really, really special to me. And I was also given the See Virginia Fields Award.
wow.
And why that See Virginia Field has changed so much of New York,
Mhm.
but also in Harlem. The reason that I'm able to have Melba's on 114th Street has to do with the zoning laws and rules that she fought so hard for, but also to have her in the room when
Mm.
I received the award that's named after her. That was special because unfortunately, normally when there's an award given in someone's name,
Yeah,
that person, right, they've already transitioned. So to stand beside one of my Sheros and to receive an award named after someone who's made such a great impact was a huge honor as well.
wonderful. Give a message to our viewers. Tell them where to come to and what's your favorite meal or whatever you want. Your message.
Sure. Well, my message to our viewers, Melba's 300 West 114th Street. You can go online in Harlem, in the heart of Harlem. But the message that I really want to give our viewers is that I am you, you are me. Don't believe the hype when someone says that what you can't do. It's always about having a point of view. Some people look at the letters IMPOSSIBLE, and to them it spells impossible.
Mhm.
I look at the letters IMPOSSIBLE, and for me, it spells I'm possible. Some people see it as impossible, other people see it as I'm possible. So it's always about your point of view. Also, don't be afraid to take a chance on you. That's all I did. Nothing special about me, nothing different about me. The only thing I did that a lot of people don't do is I replaced fear with faith. So
Wonderful.
if there's a dream, something that's in your heart, something that you want to do, take a chance on you.
This is a magnificent ending to a very, very beautiful conversation. Thank you for giving us your time. Thank you to my viewers. Every Saturday, 12:30 on Spectrum, channel 1993. And for all the past episodes, go to My Harlem Portraits on my YouTube channel, Maria G. Cavenaghi. Thank you, thank you,
Love
thank
you,
you.
Maria.
Love you. Bye-bye.
You. Bye.